This is Josh and Jay's Excellent Video Game Show.
Hello and welcome to Josh and Jay's Excellent Video Game Show. I am your co-host Joshua.
Woo.
With me, as always,
is your co-host Jay, and with us as always,
Enthusiastic Rowan.
Genuine enthusiasm.
enthusiastic flannel.
Surprised welcome.
Guys, I did not think that I was going to be into Dark Souls.
I know, diving right in.
Why did you not think that you were going to be a Dark Souls guy?
Because I'm talking about Dark Souls 2, but I played some of Dark Souls 1, and I didn't get that into it.
How much did you play? An hour?
No, more. But I mean, I didn't progress very far in that game, which is kind of different than, it's not really judged by hours, you know?
Well, I find I play a lot of games for an hour, and then I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get this. So let's come back to it later, and then I never come back.
Well, in Dark Souls 1, I got far enough to get that it was hard, you know, but I didn't get far enough. So for example, in Dark Souls 2, I pushed past the point of sanity. Like, it's now all I think about, and it's all I want to do is play it or get online and read about it, because
You and Brad Galloway.
there's seemingly an infinite amount of stuff to discover in that game, and they don't explain anything to you. So, I think the turning point for me was last night around midnight. I was tired. I was dying a lot. I was past the point where I was doing any good, and I thought, you got to go to bed, man. You're not. You don't have any souls. You don't have anything. You know. So, and I went back to fight this boss one more time, even though I was like, well, this is impossible. It's impossible. This is just impossible. I don't know why I'm doing this. This game is awful, and I'm never going to get past this point. And I couldn't summon help at that point because of this system. Maybe we'll get into later. But I did it, man. I just watched his moves. I took my time. I swept the leg. I beat this boss, and it was the first real boss I had encountered in the game, and it was the best feeling. It was better than anything that's ever happened to me in my entire life, the feeling of beating that boss.
Math drugs.
And then I sort of got it. And then, and then if you play that game long enough, you sort of, God, you're just like Jay's in the tutorial area right now, right? And you're at least an hour in. Maybe 2 hours in.
Man, I like the tutorial area. Is nice and comfortable. I like it's nice and comfy. I'm just kind of rolling off the edges of cliffs and dying in the water. I wish this guy could learn how to swim. That would make this game a lot easier. But most of the time, I die from the stupid controls navigating my character into oblivion and his death.
If you need to get him to swim, you have to find his brother, and then have his brothers die, and have a spirit come back, its soul, if you will, in order to train him to swim at the end.
Oh man, I don't know about that.
My jokes are too complex for you.
Spoiler alert. That wouldn't surprise me if that were true. This game is insane. So I played the game for 4 hours, and I played some of the original Dark Souls, so I was, usually when you go to a bonfire, which is kind of where you save your game,
right?
It's where you respawn when you die. There's an option to level up, and I thought, okay, well, I'm early. That must unlock for me at some point. And, I'm just going through, wasting souls, dying, just thousands and thousands of souls. And finally, I looked it up online, and there's some lady I need to talk to open up being able to level up, which was ridiculous to me. Like, how are you supposed to know that? And also, you talk to her, she's like, hey, blah, 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 and then you're done. No, you have to talk to her until you exhaust everything she has to say. So you have to talk to her like 5 times before she'll even say, oh, by the way, here's the whole point of the game, and here's how you can level up.
Oh, it's just like Mass Effect.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like Mass Effect.
Yeah, just like Mass Effect.
Mass Effect is the Dark Souls of Knights of the Old Republic.
Genuine enthusiasm.
But I'm in. Like, I'm hooked. It's all
I can tell.
I love it so much. I don't know how long I played now. Probably 20 hours. It came out Thursday night. Today's Saturday. There's something about the So Jay's a baby to me right now, you know.
I
can't imagine what I am to someone like Brad Galloway. You know,
I have my baby soul.
yeah. But there's
And Brad's not even one of those Dark Souls guys. Like he
Right.
likes it, he gets into it, he tries to find stuff in it, but
He's a Dark Souls
he
guy.
seems like it though.
He is a
no,
Dark...
he's a Marvel Puzzle Quest
If
guy.
he's not a Dark Souls guy, then I'm scared to meet a Dark
Yeah,
Souls
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
No, they're kind of buried since it's been a while since the first Dark Souls came out. But there are people who, like, have only played Dark Souls for like 6 months straight, and
Yeah, get that new game plus going on.
yeah, and like playing as all the classes and trying to find every damn secret. Apparently, like it took like 10 playthroughs for people to start figuring out like what the mythology of the first Dark Souls was.
Yeah, there's stuff right now where there's attributes like dexterity and strength and stuff. There's one of those that people are kind of just now maybe figuring out what it does, but it's I'm putting points into it based on what people are discovering. Dark Souls is interesting because you know they don't tell you where to go, and different areas are harder or easier. So if you walk into a hard area, you get your ass kicked. You're like, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to be here. But if you walk into an easy area, you get your ass kicked, and you go, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. So you don't really know because, you know, it has that thing where you do something, you think something's just impossible. Like I was saying earlier, like these guys, like the guys I was fighting when I woke up this morning are not bosses, but might as well be to me. They seemed impossible. Like I could maybe beat one, but it doesn't matter because the second one will kill me. Then you should I explain how Dark Souls works at all? We should assume
It's it's a.
so you collect souls when you kill someone.
What type
and
of
then
game
you
is
use,
it, Josh?
You use it's. I told you it's the Dark Souls is the Mass Effect of Knights of the Republic.
Oh right, sorry.
You collect souls, which are
It's
basically
a collectible card game.
experience points. Chillin' game. And the bitch of it all is that when you collect these souls for when you kill people for experience points, but then if you die, you lose all those souls. And if you can get back to your corpse, you can get them back. But if you die trying to get to your corpse, then you lose all that progress, basically. And souls are not just experience points; they're also currency. So they're used for buying weapons and upgrading weapons and stuff.
How's the auction house in this game?
I think there is. I don't know if there is one or not. I assume there's everything in this game.
It's hidden.
Yeah.
How are your bells?
I've not seen any bells yet. I've only heard rumors of bells. But so this morning there were these guys that were just impossible for me. I was like, this is the end because God, there's so much. So Dark Souls you have full health, right? But as you die, your maximum health decreases.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. I'm not doing so well on that front.
So eventually, even when you go back to a bonfire, you'll only get 50% of your health back. And the only way to fix that is to use a certain item that restores your humanity and brings your health back up to 100%, which is an added complication to a very complicated game.
Mm-hmm.
So I was out of that item. My health was at 50% forever, and I couldn't get past this dude. So I was like, well, that's it. And, right before you showed up, Jay, I was cutting through those guys like they were cake. They were easy. So it's one of those games where something's impossible, and then you reach this new plateau, and all of a sudden what was impossible is easy.
Yeah, it's just like threes.
Just like threes, exactly. Exactly like threes.
Yeah.
It's just like collecting orbs in Crackdown.
No,
because you get an orb, and now you can jump onto the next thing, except the orbs are mental.
Yeah, no, but in Crackdown, there's nothing that seems impossible, and then later is easy to do because of your own skill, because of nothing had transpired in the game. I had not leveled up in any way. Like I'm not getting better weapons. I just got
your soul
better.
Leveled up.
So which is like threes, right, Jay?
Yes.
Yeah,
I have I think 2,000 souls in threes right now. I'm saving them up. So
I can't even. I just want to go play Dark Souls 2 right now. Like I don't even.
All right, good podcast.
See you later. We're gonna go play Dark Souls.
So Jay, you're early on in this game. I really want
you. Want to hear about my baby soul?
Dark Souls is like pot. I'm like, dude, I want you to smoke pot. I want you.
It was
not enough for me to do it.
Yeah, it'll be more fun if you did it too.
I got Brad Galloway.
I get that. So I spent a little bit of time with the character creator, as I want to do. It's my favorite part of many of these RPGs, and I was able to create. Well, I went on Twitter earlier and posted a picture of my character, who I described looked like bastard child of Kumail Nanjiani, the comedian and also fellow video game podcaster. That it was the bastard child of his and like the singer of Four Non Blondes, because it was like this sort of vaguely, Middle Eastern, Indian, Pakistani,
like Sideshow
looking
Bob
looking
there.
guy. No, well, no, he had like the crazy, like dreaded braid updo that was sort of tied together, and then this big buff body, and yeah. So that's Boners to Bone is his name, by the way.
See, it's funny because I was
Because
talking
I
to
figured, I realized, I'm like, oh, he, it's sad, but he passed away, so he's foraging in the land of lost souls, in Dark Souls.
Does the character creator still have separate sex and gender options?
Separate sex and no, but not that I saw. You can swap genders, however, it has a masculinity and femininity slider.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes, it has that. So you can make a super feminine dude or a super masculine woman.
you can also change your sex in game by sleeping in a coffin.
Awesome.
That's how everything works.
Yeah. So Dracula is so feminine.
So you put a
So
couple hours into the game.
Yeah, but most of that was in the character creator.
Oh, okay.
So like an hour and 45 minutes was probably messing with sliders.
I don't even know what we're doing. You need to get past the tutorial.
Well,
like
so
right now.
I'm in the tutorial, and the one thing that is really freaking frustrating about this game is the navigation controls and how you dash or run and jump.
Yeah.
And how you
It's broken.
I despise games where you have to push down on the analog stick to jump. And not only that, it's the same analog stick that you use to move.
Does any other game do that?
I think
That's why in GTA it's the honk button, because you're hitting it by accident every 3 seconds.
Right.
When you're cruising
Right.
around.
So as soon as you start running, when you click that left thumbstick down, you have to play this game with a controller, by the way, whether you're playing for PC or console. Well, obviously on console, but on PC, it's just not made for mouse and keys, right?
No, it's a port.
Yes, it is a port port.
So the first thing I did was try to remap everything, because I hate the controls for this game, which you can't do. Just like the first one, you cannot remap your controls except for one. You can change jump from left 3 to the B button on Xbox controller,
Right.
which is also your run button.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess is how the first Dark Souls was, but I don't remember.
How does that even work? Like you jump first and then start running?
No, you run first and then tap B again real fast to jump. It sucks too.
But then you tap B when you're not running to dodge.
Yes. Yeah.
So it does
Watch
a lot
me
of
never play this game.
Yeah, so you also very early on in the tutorial they teach you this jump attack, which
I've still never been able to successfully complete.
I'm at like
that
1 in
maneuver.
15 for the jump attack, and I can't. In this game you can't mess up. Like you can't use something that's not going to work 100% of the time in combat. So I just won't ever jump and attack in this game ever.
Well, because I keep dying and going back to that first bonfire in the tutorial area over and over because I'm running and jumping into the abyss.
You're wasting all your souls.
Drowning
dog.
my god. No, I go back to the same spot and get my souls back
Oh,
every
okay.
time. But like you said, my health.
How many souls you got?
I got a few. I have more than 3s, but I got. I have a few. But you said your health bar they tie a tourniquet around it. You can see it.
Yeah, halfway.
You can see it halfway, and it seems excruciating to punish. Like you're punishing someone for sucking.
It's
like
really mean.
Like
yeah.
the more, like the
It's
more,
so
you, like,
mean. This game is.
They're
so
like,
mean.
oh, it turns out the more you suck, the harder we're gonna make it for you.
Jay, I've had some dark times in the last couple of days, like real dark times where I was.
Yeah,
just
were
like,
you
this game is. We're still on the radio.
In
so,
Darktown?
Should we welcome the?
Welcome, KWTF listeners,
To Darktown in Dark Souls.
You may hear some language
Josh,
you're
stop.
unaccustomed to.
No, it's Blighttown in Dark Souls.
Oh, it is?
No, it's Darktown.
It's Darktown and Blight Souls.
Exactly.
I've had some times
No.
where
Blight's soul. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Blight's
yeah.
Soul.
Dark's Soul.
Dark Soul.
Um,
Dark Soul.
this game beat me down. Like that particular feature that
Feature.
that you lose, that your health will max at 50%. So there are times when the item you need you can't buy it because you don't have any souls, but you can't kill anybody because you only have half your health.
Yeah, because you suck.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, that was fun, I guess. Is there a cheat? Like, I don't know what to do now, and you just kind of have to give up and walk away.
It's one of those forum posters. Is like, well, these guys keep one-shotting me, and they're like, don't get hit.
Yeah. And eventually you just have to power through it.
But it feels so mean. It's like
so mean.
It feels like telling I don't know, like I don't want to.
So the progress in this game, you're always going to lose. There's always going to be a time when you lose, tens of thousands of souls. You just throw the controller down. I've just been so upset, like so mad. But the game items are really, besides your regular character progression, like leveling up your stats.
Oh, you can level up in this game?
Yeah. So, evidently. Items, you don't lose items when you die. So
right.
So like there's an item that I'm trying to get now that takes it from 50% to 75 is the lowest it'll go.
Oh.
And then so another thing is you can summon in help from other players in this game.
Right, you can. It's sort of like a setting that you turn on, right?
Yeah, it must be on by default because I've done it and I didn't change any settings.
Okay.
But you have to have your humanity to do that, which means you have to be 100% health to do that. So the worse you're doing, the less help you can get. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're in dire straits, you can't get help. You have to be at 100% health.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
perfect.
messed up.
You can only get help when you totally don't need
When you don't need it, yeah.
So basically, this is like a 1% sim.
Yeah, exactly. This is the bank giving rich people money and taking money from
Exactly.
poor people. Yeah. It's the Bank of America of video games.
No,
I think we have our title now.
Yeah. Well, I think I called it the going to the gym of video games because that's how I felt about.
That's how I felt
playing
about it. I saw that and I was like, totally.
When you start.
Yeah.
When you first start playing.
But now it's the I want to break up with my girlfriend and quit my job of video games.
So now it's heroin.
Well, yeah, but that's because you're sitting here. You're the dude who can bench 350, and it's like, you know what I mean,
dude, bro.
Yeah, you've got the Zubaz pants and like the muscle tee, and
except that
and you're just like walking around the gym offering to spot dudes.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, you need a spot?
Yeah,
I got you. I got your back, bro.
You get those highs for a little bit, and you go back to the hub town. You're cool, but those are actually very short-lived because as soon as you go to a new area, you're back to square one.
Yeah, it's like so basically you're saying it's the meth of video games. It's the Breaking Bad of video games.
And I don't, I'm kind of doing half explore on my own, half I need to go online and figure out what the hell is going on here. This is what also the thing about this game. Kind of nothing is cheap. Like for a while, I would kind of like, I don't want to do that. That's cheap. But by any means necessary. This game is by any means necessary. If you're going to get somebody locked in some geometry and shoot arrows at him for 20 minutes because your arrows do 2% of damage at a time.
Oh, wow.
Until you need to buy more arrows.
And then you can run away and hope he's still locked in that same geometry when you come back.
By any means necessary. You just gotta get through it.
That is freaking rough.
And there's stuff I've read online and ended up doing to get items that there's no way I would ever have figured that out. Ever.
Sold some shit on Craigslist you had no idea that you would ever part with.
Things I thought I would never do, guys. I'm just...
Speaking of that, my most prized possession is a disc copy of Suikoden 2, which is worth like $150, $200.
PlayStation 2?
PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay.
And apparently Sony or Konami has like patented or whatever. They've reserved a spot in the database to put that on the PlayStation Network. So my prized possession is going to just plummet in value.
Yeah, I mean, not to get off track, but did you hear about this endeavor that people discovered that Sony is basically working to put as much of the original PS1 library like available for?
I can speak to this a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Were there threads on the gap for this?
this
Threads
is a,
on the gaff.
this
Did
is
you
part-
read Threads on the gaff?
yeah, of course there are. This is partly a really old thing. So when I got my Vita, I saw that you could play certain PlayStation 1 games on it.
Right.
Or no, I'm sorry. It was a PSP game I wanted to play, actually.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
and,
I forgot
um,
I had one of
And it
those.
wasn't available in the store. And I was like, what? I see people playing this on Yuga. And so it turns out there was a whole suite of games that Sony said were not compatible with Vita. But if you buy them on your PlayStation 3 and just transfer them over to your Vita, they play just fine. Like almost every game.
That's rad.
And I think what happened was
So it's like the PS3 version.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but as far as Sony's concerned, they weren't compatible. You know, so
So they just said that because they didn't.
I don't know. Maybe there's some certification process. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
weird.
so I think what happened, and this has been going on for years, but I think what happened was last week. I don't know. I might have this wrong. All of a sudden, all that stuff showed up in the store for a couple days, and people were just getting all these like every PS1 game, and then were taken down from the store.
Oh, I didn't know about that part.
Or they discovered that way more were compatible all of a sudden. Something weird happened that lasted for a few days and then was taken down. And
Huh.
Yeah, it was like they took down the gate that said you can't just get this straight for Vita. They're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
these are compatible with Vita.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden they put it back up.
right. So if I go to try to like re-download one of these games, it'll say no, you can't do that. I have to, but if I transfer it over, it works fine. That's how
That's
I played
bizarre.
that Jeanne d'Arc game.
Yeah,
That's why I wanted a Vita actually, was to play that game.
that's so weird.
But Sony's obviously with their PlayStation Now, like, they're going to have a big backwards compatibility push soon. I think probably at E3, and that's probably why it probably went up by mistake, and it's an E3 thing. So
That could be it. But yeah,
who knows?
Suikoden 2 is one of the like
Dude, sell it and get Dark Souls 2.
I've asked PR for Dark Souls 2 once it's Steam code. Like
They'll give it to you, but you have to do something awful to like. To
Yeah.
and they'll take it back.
I have to like become a Dark Souls guy. Like that's the worst thing you can do as a gamer.
No, you get to become a Dark Souls.
Yeah,
guy.
you get the privilege. Welcomed into the fold
So I had a guy.
of masochism.
This is our 3-hour Dark Souls podcast, by the way.
So I had a guy who gave me a thing. It was like in
he
an
said, "Just
alley
hold
at
it for
night."
me, just on the airplane. It's no big deal." This will be more fun next week when Jay's maybe a little further. But
Maybe I'll get past the tutorial.
but I will
part.
tell you my feelings about this.
My goal is to level up once in that game.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Just find a lady and talk to her a lot.
I'll try.
Talk to her a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, you haven't really started. So
You're not even a real
you're not even
gamer.
You're not even a real person. Earlier today, I was before I got good at fighting these guys that I thought were impossible. I summoned someone in to help me, and so I went through with this guy, and he was way higher level than me, and he was just mowing through like all these dudes, and then we went and fought a boss, and I helped. I did help. I wasn't just standing there. I almost died a few times.
It's like shake and bake.
Yeah, but he took
You
out that
helped.
boss, and then we took out another boss that was in the same area, and I got like 20,000 souls, and he bounced. But I felt kind of icky about it, Like I felt like I didn't really get
Like you just piggybacked on his much higher level.
I didn't die at the boss a bunch of times
Yeah.
and learn how to do it myself.
Yeah,
and-
like all you did was you sat there and you like took your pot shots when you could, while this guy was doing most of the work because he could.
So I think my new policy, although I got all these souls, so I got to level up and.
I thought your new policy is by any means fucking necessary.
Well, yeah, yes, KWTF listeners, hello. Yeah, it is. Except I think because I talked to Brad about this, Brad Galloway, friend of the show, Brad Galloway.
The guy we've mentioned like 600 times
Yeah,
already.
I talked to him about
Who?
this on Twitter, and I was like, that feels gross, and he said, it's a really hard game. Like,
By any means necessary.
So I think my new thing is I will maybe resort to that if I need to, but if I need to, like I didn't even ever fight this boss once, I want to get to a point where I'm really frustrated before I do that. but it was pretty sweet getting all those souls.
Sure.
And I got to level up the thing that Brad was talking about your dual weapon
Yeah.
stance.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about this because this is apparently something new to Dark Souls 2.
Yes, and people come to us for differences between Demons, Dark Souls, and Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's Dark
2.
Souls podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I
It's
beat Demon Souls on New Game Plus like 5 times.
Did you?
No.
I've never even played it.
I played Demon Souls.
I played it for an hour, and then I was like, this seems kind of cool, and never went back.
I played Demon Souls for a while, and I thought that game was good. It was hard, but that game was good.
This is the end of the podcast. Like, if we all get into Dark Souls,
That's
too.
true. Rowan, and
Might as well be Dota. You
actually,
know?
Rowan, you're not allowed to play Dark Souls because we need somebody with their head above water.
So I'm almost done with my season. I've got I'm gonna get Larry Bird into the game now.
NBA 2K.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
I should have known that you weren't past the tutorial because I swear I'm gonna get texts. Like,
Oh yeah,
because it's that kind of game.
yeah. Another friend of mine who's been playing Dark Souls 2 has been texting me. He's like, "Man, this game is so good, but it's hard as like what?"
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
it's just like frustrated vowels and
Yeah,
consonants in the text message.
I had a dog. I was dog sitting till today, and the dog.
So that's why you said you high-fived the dog.
yeah.
I was like, when the hell did you get a dog?
I had a dog, and the dog was freaking out because it'd be sleeping next to me, and all of a sudden I would just be irate, just swearing at the storm. And the dog's looking at me like, "What did I do
What
wrong?"
did I do?
And I'm like, "What did you do wrong? You made this game hard. It's your fault." And then I would beat the dog till I felt better.
Oh,
That's kidding. I loved it.
that's not cool.
Gosh, yeah, it's a good game. I want to play it some more.
It's the Octodad of console games.
It's pooping game.
Speaking of pooping games, how's Hearthstone on your iPad?
I don't know.
You haven't gotten it yet?
No, I don't think I can play it on this one. This is an old
Really?
iPad.
I think it has more to do with the operating system than the actual iPad.
Yeah, I don't know, but I haven't played it on iPad. Sorry.
well,
Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it would take over. I hear.
Maybe
that
that's-
game's addictive.
That's as much Hearthstone as is being played on this iPad.
Is this not a bridge to Dota or anything, right? Like we'll just play Dark Souls once and then we'll stop. We can stop anytime we
No.
want.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's a little bit of a multiplayer game, but it's not like a competitive multiplayer game.
No, it's a competitive single player game, and you're
Yeah.
competing with not being a total waste of a person.
I can't. I can't see my achievements because I have to have the Steam overlay turned off to make this graphical mod I'm using work. Wow, but yeah, there's achievements in that game too.
Yeah.
Really, there's achievements in a game.
Yeah.
Damn.
Steam achievements, so whatever. But
Yeah, there's not numbers attached to these achievements,
Yeah, they're
so therefore
super
they're
dumb.
essentially irrelevant.
well, also Steam has you can just get this like a program that'll get you like Steam achievements.
Yeah, you just like download a save game, load it up, do
Yeah.
one thing, and then congratulations, here are 6 more achievements.
Oh, that's really dumb. But I guess it doesn't matter one way or another, so,
So
who cares?
I have a feeling that we'll be talking about this game some more. I hope I will.
Probably.
So let's.
No, definitely, because I mean,
You want to know at least, don't you?
the thing is that if I can't get through the tutorial area without my health, my health is now at the lowest point
There's
it can
nothing
be.
to get through. You just walk straight, and there's
Josh,
not even any enemies.
Josh, you have to be able to walk there without falling off the ledge, and I haven't been able to do
what,
that
what
yet.
why are you bouncing around? Are you using a keyboard and mouse?
No. You have to jump sometimes. I'm
No, you
not
don't.
good at it.
You just walk from. It's
See,
one.
this is what I said to you about Jet Grind Radio, and you were like,
Oh.
"No, it's so hard."
Oh, really? Yeah, that tutorial area literally, other than the branches, optional branches to the sides.
Jet Grind Radio is the Dark Souls of retro whatever.
Although then I found out that they added like a new extra terrible tutorial to the new Jet Grind Radio, so you guys were off the hook for that.
Jay, there's a door on one side and a door on the other side. If you walk straight,
Radio.
you can walk straight through the tutorial without fighting anybody or jumping or anything. It's just the left and right they're paths.
But then I see there's that like Cyclops giant in the distance.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm like, what happens when I get to that dude?
You die.
Death. I die.
You die.
You die.
You die. Yeah.
I killed those guys.
Well, la di da.
This game is pretty good about,
Oh, Sorry, those are the guys that I ran across a bridge and sat and shot arrows in for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'll probably do the same if I can figure out how to get arrows.
But I wouldn't worry about those guys right just yet.
I know. I have to worry about
You
just
have
being
bigger
able to
things to worry
stay
about.
on the ground.
Don't jump.
Don't fall in the water. It's so ironic because my guy keeps dying because he jumps off the cliff. Meanwhile, there's that tutorial that teaches you how to jump attack, and I haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, I've done it like twice.
I can jump when I don't want to, so that I fall to my death, but I can't jump when I'm trying to do it and attack.
You got to get jump off that left stick.
I wish there was no jumping in this game. I don't think I've ever said that about a game before because jumping's fun. I like jumping. I like jump kicking things. I mean, what's more fun than a good jump kick?
A good roll.
Well, you can roll in this game, but it's only a semi-satisfying roll.
Oof, man. Just a babe.
I know. I'm a baby souls.
So that's Dark Souls 2, and I dig it. But why don't we take a little quick break here?
Take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about something other than the bane of our existence.
Welcome back.
So in Dark Souls 2, I got this. I found this ring.
No,
that
we're off Dark Souls.
gradually increases your health.
Moving on. You know what you cannot create as a character in Dark Souls 2? A goat.
Or a baby.
If only there were goats.
No, you can make a baby.
If only there were more games.
I'm a
about
baby. I'm a
goats.
baby souls, but there's no goat souls.
Yes, but you don't travel through time to become like a super badass after being a baby. You just progress normally through time. I guess that's traveling through time.
Yeah.
But it's like strolling through time as opposed to jumping.
It's just traveling at a different rate, right? Okay. Anyway, while Rowan checks text messages,
The cat puked.
I can tell you
That's the only text message I ever get when I leave now.
Are you serious?
That's fascinating news. Breaking news. So, do you want to start in with some Fire Emblem, Rowan?
It sounds like you want to start in
Well,
with
I was
going to
talk about some Goat
You
Simulator.
can't bring
real
up
quick.
goat and not talk about goat.
I didn't know if you want. All right.
But I brought up babies.
So Goat Souls is a game where
Goat Sea Souls.
Goat Simulator. Is it Goat Simulator
it's like Goat Sea Souls.
2014 or just?
Although that might be the title.
What's the
episode
game
of this.
called?
It's called Goat Simulator.
Okay, there's no 2014. It's not like a.
Oh, maybe.
Surgeon Simulator.
I don't know. I call it Goat Simulator.
You
Maybe
purchased this
there's
game?
A year. Yeah, I bought it because it looks rad. They just added a new like DL. It's
Parkour?
sort of like a DLC add-on patch thing. I don't know exactly where it falls in that categorization, but it's free and it's parkour. It's goat parkour.
It's like QWOP, right?
This is a QWOP like.
Or no,
yes.
it's like in Saint Rose 4. There was that.
Yes, the ragdoll
Yeah.
insurance scam mini
You
game.
just ragdoll as long as you can, and they take away any resistance. So you just keep ragdolling
Yes.
forever.
So the basic mechanics are you're a goat straight up, and you're just trucking around
That's
a
not
city.
a mechanic, that's a premise.
I'm describing. I'm getting to that, Rowan. So the mechanic is you're strutting around the city. Okay, strutting is a mechanic, Rowan. It is a means of interacting.
No,
with
it's
the
an
environment.
animation.
No, it's not it is also an animation, but it is
You're not
this
describing
interaction.
how the strutting is taking place.
No, this game sounds real challenging.
I'm trying to, but you keep challenging my freaking.
It's not the preferred nomenclature.
So what happens to you when you die? Do you keep your souls? Do you lose your souls? Like, what's the hook?
You only have one soul, and you keep it in your tongue.
Do you have weird goat eyes, like goat pupils? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if it really zooms in that close, or not in my experience, but the main goals in Goat Simulator are, like you said, it's racking up points, doing huge wipeout, eating crap on the street, off buildings. You're trying to jump off high buildings. You score points for all kinds of stuff, doing flips. You can... All right, one of the strangest mechanics in the game is that you have a tongue that can lick stuff, and when you lick something, you're tethered to it.
Yeah.
So this includes stationary.
Dark Souls got that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, this includes
Probably.
this includes like people, So you can, if you lick a person and you let that tether, you leave that tether intact, you can run around with this human tethered to your tongue, like
Oh,
whipping
like,
around and bouncing around all over the place.
Like what's that open world game where you shoot a thing at airplanes and then shoot a thing at something else and then the two things
Just
Oh,
cause,
Just
Yeah,
Cause,
yeah,
yeah.
or
I
just cause.
just
or
cause
Just Cause,
just cause two.
cause.
Just like that. Like you can strap, except you can't strap. Can you strap two things together or just you to
No,
something?
you to something,
and it drags behind
No,
you.
it's either. You can do two things to another, or you to something. There's 2 points, and you can either have it.
No,
be
but
on
one
you
point
or...
is they're attached to your face.
No, I'm talking about in Goat Simulator,
oh.
not Just Cause.
Two.
Just Cause Souls too.
Well, that sounds fun.
So you can do things like climb up to the top of the building
Uh-huh.
with a person tethered to your tongue, and then when you jump off, you can jump on a trampoline, and then it's exactly as hilarious and satisfying as it sounds to see this acrobatic act of a goat spinning in the air with a human tethered to its tongue, and while you just see the points rack up.
So this
Gaining points for doing that.
This is in the genre of "Oh no, you didn't" of video games, right? Where it's just like, "What? Oh my god, I can't believe how crazy this is."
Kobe. Yes, this is.
It's so ridiculously
it's
stupid and fun.
It's definitely in the vein of games like Octodad and Surgeon Simulator. It's a as we like to call them around here. It's a co-op-like.
The Steam page for it says, like, on the list of features, it's like, we took out all the hard crashes, but we left every other bug in because they're hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. This game is all about is glitching it out as the more you can glitch it out, the better, and it's not really about doing
That's so
anything
funny
other than enjoying what's happening in the moment.
that kind of statement makes me think, like, but there, at some point these guys were just, dude, we're really serious about this goat simulation. Like, it's going to be a serious goat simulator, and then they found this bug, and they're like, eh.
Yeah, could be. Well, I think that it started out as a satire about simulator games where it may have been some mundane type of cow clicker, or something in that vein. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass and making this up. But it seems likely that a game like this was conceived as a satire that maybe what would have been just its super basic, hardly a quote unquote game. But then they realized how much funnier it would be if they just did it this way and just let you dick around with a goat around a town and jump off stuff and trampolines and tether yourself to cars and get flipped around and watch people bounce off trampolines while they're hooked to your tongue and you're doing cartwheels. And I
bet there's about 1 billion YouTube videos of this game.
Yes,
if it's that kind of game.
It is exactly that.
I think it might be
game.
like of the Let's Play generation of games.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a spectacle.
Are there leaderboards?
I don't know for what.
You
You
score?
said you get
I thought you got
points.
points.
Oh, then probably.
Are there level? Like, is there a goal? Like, do you get, like, if you can rack
Are
up
there
so much,
souls?
if you get enough damage or whatever, does it unlock things? Like, is there progression? Or is it just a toy box?
I think it's just a sandbox of messing around.
I think, like, the city unlocks more if you get X amount of points.
There are like special maneuvers that you will sort of unlock achievements for, not like Steam achievements. They're sort of in game.
Sure.
It will track. For instance, I think if you do jump off a building from a certain height and then hit a trampoline, you'll get points for like getting a certain height off of a trampoline or jumping off of a building that's so tall.
Oh, like in Crackdown when you jump off the agency tower.
Yeah. This game is all Agency Tower.
Okay.
This is a game where you're a goat who jumps off the agency tower, or that's your main goal.
Rowan, have you ever jumped off the agency tower?
I haven't gone back to Crackdown in a while.
You know what? You know what they should do? I'm going to say it right now. If anybody who is even remotely related to Goat Simulator at all, I think that a good downloadable content pack or add-on would be orbs. Add orbs to Goat Simulator. That would be the raddest game, actually.
But there's no
I would
progression,
play the
right?
crap out of a
But you can't level up in any way, so...
No.
You can
But
if
what
there
if
were orbs.
what if you leveled up and when you got orbs and then you got in your goat, the goat would like transform like the vehicle?
The goat transforms into a more badass
Yeah, like
goat.
a bigger goat.
Does it?
Oh my god! All right, a
Doesn't it-
Crackdown DLC for Goat Simulator.
Doesn't it have Steamworks? Like, isn't it intended to be super moddable?
I think it is. If somebody could mod in Crackdown orbs and a goat that upgrades when you hit a certain orb count, like the cars, that would be amazing. Oh, that's my new favorite game. Goat Down Simulator.
Crack goat.
2012.
Cool.
So,
What'd you pay for this game?
$10.
$10.
10 crazy bucks.
10 bucks seems like a perfect sweet spot. You know it's going to go on sale for $5 on Steam probably tomorrow. So, I don't know. It's well worth $10.
Did you guys grab Risk of Rain when it was on sale yesterday?
It's still on sale.
No.
Well, it won't be by the time this goes up, but it's
Well,
still
yeah.
on sale right now.
That game feels like the sort of game that you could lose yourself to. I only played it for a little, and I was like, this feels like the game I could lose myself to for years.
Yeah,
And
I saw Ken Levine
Really?
tweet that
What
that was his favorite game of last year. So
Yeah.
For a year, isn't it just a? I thought it was a. Isn't it an RPG, like a story-based RPG?
no, Risk of Rain's an action roguelike kind of thing.
Oh,
It's kind of like Nuclear Throne, except it's
what am
deeper.
I thinking of? Is there something called To the Moon?
To the Moon's like a story thing.
yeah,
I think
To the
that's what I'm
Moon's
thinking of.
super narrative like adventure game.
Yeah, but with barely any puzzles. So
Risk of Rain. That sounds good.
yeah, it's kind of like Nuclear Throne, only it's much deeper. Possibly because Nuclear Throne is still early access, and it's 2D. It's a platformer type of thing, and you're just you're like the last survivor of a ship that crashed on an alien world, and you are being besieged by monsters, and you have to run around and blow up the monsters and try to escape somehow. But like there are a whole bunch of different classes that you unlock. Like you start as the regular soldier, and then I don't know the other classes. I don't play it that much, but
Is it like Rogue Legacy? A little bit.
a little bit. But it's a lot more retro looking. Like it's
So is, yeah. Oh, okay.
well, Rogue Legacy is like the I don't know, like in 64 era,
Mhm.
like that era. It's still 2D, but this is like it's zoomed out a lot more. You're just kind of a little mess of pixels. And oh god, what game does it remind me of?
Below.
No, those are way too crisp.
Hmm.
This is not like a crisp game. This is like a really well animated game.
Right.
Like
Like Kentucky Route Zero.
yeah, that's a little closer. It's a little more abstract.
Yeah.
Okay. I went like. Ugh. Just got really tired.
Oh, hey,
You ever get so
and Jay's
caffeinated you kind of go over the top? Like,
Yeah,
over
you
the other edge?
crash,
Yeah.
man. It's like smoking yourself sober.
Okay.
Dancing yourself sick.
That game where you have the two guys with swords that run at each other. That's like Atari, but
Nighthawk.
animated. Yeah, it's like that.
Sonic
maybe?
and Nick.
Sonic the Nignog.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks more like that. Not quite so retro
Mm-hmm.
looking, but it's got more colors. But yeah, it got that sort of like smooth pixel animated feel to it. Yeah, I liked it a lot, but I could just like see myself being like down that rabbit hole, and I have way too many rabbit holes that I'm half down already. Like an 8 out of 10.
Cool. Good. Lots of non Dark Souls games. What else? What else is not Dark Souls?
I don't know. I was just recalling that I think one of the things that you can do in Goat Simulator as you tether your tongue to objects is that you can control, when you let go of it. And so if that involves jumping off a building onto a trampoline while you're flipping in the air with this thing attached to your tongue, and then you let go of it, you're kind of like a goat. Goat catapult, a goatapult.
Oh, like in Skyrim when a giant kicks you?
Yes, yeah. So just a lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities. Is what
You know,
I'm
a game
saying.
has a lot of possibility to it.
What's that, Rowan? Okay.
NBA 2K.
No.
Did you see the Space Jam mod?
Is
Possibilities.
Bill Murray in it?
I don't know. It was animated, but Uh,
Are the Tiny Toons in it?
yeah, they put the Tiny Toons.
Are
in.
you serious?
Yes, there's a Space Jam mod where you play as either the whatever the monsters were called. I never watched the movie.
Surprised welcome.
That sounds awesome.
And you have like the 3 foot tall Sylvester the cat like running around passing the ball.
Yeah.
Is there a Globetrotters mod?
Probably.
Avengers?
I haven't seen that.
Kotaku blog? Oh God, I went to Kotaku the other day for the first time, and God, this year for sure. Whew.
Yeah.
It's still hanging in there.
Well, of course.
Oh, really?
Of course, sure.
It has Kirk Hamilton.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, I definitely like what Kirk Hamilton writes. Oh, you know why I went because of Kirk Hamilton. I like when he does these like tips for games when they come out.
Yes.
And I was looking for a Dark Souls 2 one because I like that series.
Yes.
But that page is such a mess. It's
Yeah,
like,
there was a game. Oh man, you can go ahead, but there was a game
That's it.
that I played recently that he had written a sort of a starter guide. It's like, okay, this is like do this. You could totally tweak these settings, or
Was it Assassin's Creed 4?
maybe. Yeah, it might have been Assassin's Creed.
He was like, take
4.
this off the HUD.
Yes. Maybe something to do with like sort of which missions to focus on, or what like after you get in those battles, what rewards to take, that sort of thing.
It's funny because all of those series are based on Kirk trying to make every game into Far Cry 2. And that's a worthy goal.
Yeah.
Like every game should be more like
it's-
Far Cry 2.
That's just remove the HUD.
Dark Souls is kind of like Far Cry 2.
You can probably make that comparison, yes.
I don't think you have to do anything to change to make it like that. Wasn't
I have malaria in Dark Souls 2 right now.
Oh, I should tell you, Jay, because I don't know if I'm going to talk to you again.
Ever.
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 Or anyone.
Goodbye.
Or my parents or anybody.
Yeah, the
I'm
Dark
going
Souls
away.
land.
Yeah, but so in Dark Souls 2, and this is different than Dark Souls 1, so you when you kill somebody and respawn, eventually the enemies will no longer reappear. So
that has not been my experience in the
Yes.
tutorial area.
but it does in the tutorial also. So a good strategy, and I haven't read this. I don't know if
It's just kill them all as many times as you can, and then recollect your souls.
jump and
to
go
get-
back, kill, jump
Yeah.
back, and do it one at a time. So it's like, okay, now I have a third of this cleared out, and then
So that's how you grind in Dark Souls.
I think so.
Because assumingly, if you can keep killing the same characters over and over, then you are good enough where you will kill them every time, and
Yes,
you don't really have to worry about losing.
and those
the
souls won't
that
be
you-
wasted as long
Right.
as you keep yourself
See-
in check.
So what you do is you go to the first health fountain you can do, and then you just hold down the left arrow so you spin around until enemies attack you. Then you go up a bunch of levels and you go to the health fountain so you don't have to like rest and be weakened at all. And you just spin around in circles and level up like 20 times, and then you're ready to actually play the game.
Jay, parse that for me.
How does that work?
My jokes are too complex for you.
So actually, it's like Far Cry 3
Yeah.
because the enemies eventually don't respawn. So
Okay.
I take that back about Far Cry 2.
Okay. Oh man. Rowan.
Rowan,
Babies.
you have my 3DS. What's up with that?
Yes, I'm just slowly collecting all
I know.
of Josh's cast-off electronics.
You know what? And I might not need any of them anymore except for my PC. So
Woo.
wait, isn't the guy that made Dark Souls he didn't make Dark Souls 2 and he's working on something else? So he could be making
Yeah, but what about Demon Souls? I mean, that's
he made Demon Souls and Dark Souls.
Oh, but not Dark Souls 2.
Right. It was the same team as Dark Souls, but
Okay.
different main dude.
There was a different Ken Levine.
Different Ken Levine. Yeah.
There's always a Ken Levine. There's so tell us about your 3D experiences.
Yeah, you playing Animal Crossing?
No.
You playing
There
Zelda?
are no babies in Animal Crossing. Well, there probably are. I'm playing Fire Emblem Awakening, which
Sorry.
is a baby-making simulator that involves occasional tactical combat against wyverns and knights. And
A baby making simulator with casual tactical combat.
like
That
an 8 out of
second
10.
third fight where they introduced the Pegasus and the teaming up and all that
Yeah.
stuff. That's where I checked out every time I tried to play that game so far.
Why?
I don't know. I was just like, that's that's too much.
So in this game, it's a pretty basic tactical combat game. You move your little dudes up on squares and you fire arrows and cast spells and hit people with swords.
There's a paper rock scissors with a lance beats sword.
Yeah, but
sword
that's
beats
not that
lance.
important.
Yeah.
Like you're only a few characters actually can use different weapons, so it's basically you just go and hit things. Um, but the thing is, like, each of the characters has a personality. It's not like XCOM where they're all just random dudes or gals.
Yeah,
Um,
they talk.
each of them is like a specific person with a name and personality and so on. And when
Rowan made some friends.
they're my friends, I made them.
I'm losing friends, and Rowan's gaining friends.
Ah,
So when your characters are like next to one another, or when they're paired up, as you said, like you can put them both on the same square and they kind of share stats.
Yeah.
When they do things that are like where they relate to one another, they have little friendship points that go up. And it's not like every character with every other character. They can only go with like certain numbers of characters. But like if you can get a male character and a female character up to an S rank of that, it goes C, B, A, S. And
How do you know which characters to team up with which characters?
you can look on that. There's like a support menu where you check the character and you see who their potential friends can be.
Yeah, there's something in there. I remember where I went in there and you could make them talk to each other.
Yeah, there's also like a little barracks mode where you can have them have little chats with one another. But so
This has a lot in common with XCOM, or at least it has the permadeath stuff, or can have that.
yeah, it's a tactical combat game. But like the main thing is that like they build this friendship up, and then they have these little conversations, and so there'd be like the two super responsible knights will talk about their strategies for doing laundry together or whatever.
It's like Stormtrooper small talk.
Except they're good guys,
Right.
like,
Well,
most of them.
That sounds like separatist talk to me.
Oh, we're gonna
Rebel
have to talk about Star
scum.
Wars, aren't we?
Not for a little bit. Not for
Yeah.
a couple months.
No, I mean later in the podcast.
Not really.
Oh, sure.
So these characters, they have these conversations, and this has like two effects in the game. First of all, like every time you pair them up or they're next to one another or they join each other in combat, their stats go up. So if you have characters who are better friends, more stats go up. And they're also more likely to help characters. So like if you're standing next to, if you have, one of your Pegasus Knights sitting next to one of your mages, and the Pegasus Knight attacks, then the mage might jump in and attack too.
Don't
Or
they do that even without relationships, though?
the chance goes up if they're in
okay.
the better the relationship is, the more of a chance they have.
Because
to
even
jump
when I
in.
was playing, as long as they're next to each other, they would both show up on the screen and fight.
Yeah, except sometimes they don't.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Are the stats boosted permanently or just while they're next to each other?
just while they're next to each other.
Because sometimes they'll like raise raise your health or raise your attack.
Yeah, when you go up a level, that goes up. And when you have them pair up, that goes up directly.
Right.
So there are all these different like ways that you can have the characters kind of synergize with one another, and that improves as they have better relationships with one another. So that's cool. And then when you get them up to the S rank with one another, they have a baby, and there's like some kind of time travel thing where all the kids grow up, and like 16 years later, they jump back through a portal and they go and join your party there too.
That's how they explain that.
So it is like Rogue Legacy.
Kind of.
Or you were comparing that to a different game, but it sounds like Rogue Legacy.
So all the kids will eventually join up. So you're rewarded for having the characters like pair up and be friends and be like better tactical combat buddies. They also have these cute little dialogue things, they're very well written.
So then the kids fighting alongside the parents.
Right. And then the kids can befriend the parents, and they can.
What if you S rank a kid?
You can't S rank the kids and the parents.
Oh, okay.
You can eventually get the kids to hook up.
This isn't Game of Thrones, Josh.
Okay.
You can eventually get the kids to hook up, but they won't have another kid. It doesn't go 3 generations. so there are all these different rewards that you get for having these characters like make friends with one another, and that just like adds like a consistent motivator to the tactical combat where it's not just like, okay, I got to go kill this guy. It's okay, I want to kill this guy, but I want to get the right pairing at the right chance so their friendship goes up more. But I don't want to do it in a way that there's permadeath. I don't want to do it in a way that, I'm going to expose one of my mages to be bombarded by knights.
Right.
So, so there's also like a pretty nasty XCOM like tactical permadeath thing going on that makes it a pretty intense game, as well as the cute little social simulator. And I think Josh has something important to say.
Goodbye, KWTF listeners.
Sincere farewell.
Go to joshandjayshow.com to hear the rest of the show. Bye. So
I've been restarting it. I'm on my 4th game.
Yeah, I was about to say you can just like power off, right, and then you won't lose the character or reset.
Yeah, you can get around that. But I'm on my 4th game of like trying to figure out the best way to balance like all the different motivations I have when playing. Like at first I was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of play it regularly and not have the permadeath turned on. That's an option you can choose. It's not a necessary.
It's the default option, I think.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't say. It just says, do you want to play on casual or classic?
Oh, okay.
And I mean, the cursor might start on casual, but they're both right there. It's not like, here's male shepherd. Oh, you can also choose a woman, I guess.
So do you remember which characters are they always the same characters that are close to each other?
Yeah, that's not randomized.
So do you remember that, or are you constantly, when you get into battle, having to look that up and go, okay, I need to get character X and your character Y?
Well, one of the times I restarted, I was like, okay, I want to get like the ideal set of children.
Yeah.
Because apparently the kids are both the best characters, like in terms of combat, and
because they have
the funniest.
The stats of both.
Yeah. Ta-da! So I like went online and looked up like which characters were best to pair up with one another to have the best kids later. So this is like the 4th game I've started.
600,000 penises.
That's not relevant, Jay.
It's not the preferred nomenclature.
So the first time I played, I was playing on the casual mode without the permadeath, and I quickly decided like this is not like the real game.
Yeah, that's not your MO.
That's not like, there are too many damn characters for that to really be, how it should be played. So then the second time, I got into it pretty far. I got some characters hooked up, and then like a few of them died, and I was like, okay, that happens. A few of them die. But then I was like, I really want to see all these kids. And then like one of my hookups, they had the kid, and I went to do the side quest where you get the kid, and like it didn't tell you how to do it. Like there are these villages that you can go to, and they'll give you things on the tactical map. And you have on the second village, you had to take one of 2 characters over to that village.
Did you find this out online?
Yes, I looked it up later after I'd saved over it.
Oh yeah.
So when I didn't get that kid, I was like, all right, I'm going to go back and do this and try to get all the kids right. So then I started again, except at a higher difficulty level. And oh god, that higher difficulty level is not...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it goes from kind of hard to really hard, and I don't even want to know what the top difficulty level is like. But
no. Wait till I get my children right.
So then I restarted again in the 4th game, and I finally gotten past the furthest that I have, and I'm starting to make new babies. And
it's a long game, so I might not be taking that 3DS back from you.
And then I kind of want to play it again and not have like the ideal kids being made, just like go through with just straight permadeath on.
Is there a new game plus?
There's a reputation stat where you can go to like a shopkeeper who gives you items, and those items like slowly increase based on reputation, based on battles you've done. So you'll get stronger items.
Oh, there's all this DLC too. I remember seeing you could get these characters.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of free downloadable things. Like you can get all the characters from previous Fire Emblems.
Huh.
Except they don't have like all the friendship talks with one another.
Oh right.
So they're just like characters for the tactical combat. Which like I guess if you're doing like a higher level game, like that's probably gonna be necessary to get all those new recruits. But there's also just like a baker's shitload of maps to buy. There's like $30 more of like,
like
10
a baker's
more
shitload could be an episode title.
And it's like not a Steam sale. And I'm like, I kind of want to get all this, and there's no way I should do it. I should just buy it and put it on your card, Josh.
Should change my Nintendo password.
Pretty shit.
No.
Nintendo.
I'm not going to do that without asking, probably.
Nintendo.
But yeah, there are a whole bunch of like additional maps. Some are free, some are downloadable, and I'm getting to the point where those are getting to be unlocked and stuff. But yeah, it's got this really weird combination of like good writing and then good sort of emergent. It's not entirely emergent because they have the writing attached to it, but emergent like friendships between the characters. That's not really something I've seen before at this level. And then just like straight up tactical combat, smoothness and difficulty, which is it's a very good combination. And
Yeah, you're playing this game for pleasure, correct?
I mean, I might pitch something on it.
Yeah, but I mean, good for you.
But it didn't start out as
Yeah.
as something that derived from a paid gig.
No, I have this idea, and I don't know how to ever like do the idea, but I want to like take all the like big games in a subgenre or in a series or something and like write big comparison features on them. So like every tactical RPG that comes out, like play this and Blackguards and the Banner Saga and the like get 4 or 5 of those and just like do a compare and contrast kind of feature that really gets into like what each game offers that the other games don't.
Yeah,
you've done that with RPGs.
You know what? You should do that with
Dark Souls
historically based strategy games, because
Yeah.
I would be interested in reading something that compares like something that is games that I see look
like
at on
Total Rome
Steam.
and stuff, or?
Well, not necessarily the combat like war strategy games, more like Patrician and the Age of Empires games. Like, I don't know, maybe those are. I don't know a lot about those games, so I would personally be interested in reading something that sort of dissects the differences between where each game has its niche in that subgenre, because they seem to all focus on one aspect more than others, like whether it is based on mercantilism or war and combat or diplomacy or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I think it's a really good idea of a thing to do, and I just don't know what kind of outlet would be good, and it might drive me crazy.
Yeah.
It seems like one of those things that's super ambitious, and someone's like, all right, we'll give you $150 to play these 5 different games and like compare all of them over 5,000 words.
You'll be the crazy guy in the room with the cork boards and the strings, like 100 different strings and thumbtacks like tied, like the guy like True Detective studying the serial killer in the one bedroom or the studio apartment.
Like the piece on strategy games that I did for the American Prospect, like that took a hell of a lot out of me, and it paid better than a lot of the game writing that I do, but not well enough considering that I spent like 3 weeks on it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, hey, I can dream.
But yeah, like I mean, maybe a Patreon might do it, but I don't really want to like do that in addition to the Mass Effect books. So,
well, maybe it might be something to think of if the Mass Effect book proves to be successful, and it leads you to wanting to do more stuff like that. Then...
Well, it's more I need stuff that gets me money so that I can not be worried about freelance gigs and do the Mass Effect book.
Well, there you go.
But again, I did get a pretty decent amount of donations after my piece went up on Unwinnable, so maybe I should just post more excerpts.
Oh yeah, we should give a big, huge congratulations to Unwinnable, who met their Kickstarter goal by a few grand and have successfully engaged upon their new digital weekly magazine version of Unwinnable.
They said it couldn't be done.
It was getting down to the wire.
It was,
and I feel like when I went on their live stream, like right after that, things really started kicking into gear.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say that it was probably mostly because of me and my involvement, my participation.
Probably.
It was my cat actually on the live screen.
Oh, was your cat on the live stream?
Yes.
The best part about that live stream was as soon as I got on, the first thing I said is, "What are you going to do if this doesn't work?"
Burn.
Stu,
Burn.
just a wreck at that point. They've been live streaming every night, all night.
Yeah, it's probably his.
Yeah, congrats to those guys.
Totally. Gotta give a big round of applause.
Special episode of
Unwinnable Homies. Yeah, now we actually have to do that
Yeah.
thing. So, but that's okay because it's really good, and we're excited to get it out there whenever that will be. I'm guessing it won't. It'll be somewhere in the near future.
Yeah, what we're talking about is
Rowan. You might want to get that looked at.
what we're talking about is we recorded it already, but we recorded a special podcast as a
just to remind the listeners.
Yes, as a
sorry.
Kickstarter reward. We interviewed, I think 12, 14 different video game makers, writers, various people that we found at GDC, and including we got on there.
We've got Lucas Pope, Papers, Please.
Papers, Please.
We've got Janneman Nordhagen from
Gone Home.
We've got Chris Dolan, former Kill Screen editor and also game maker in his own right with a new game coming out. And the heart goes tick, tick, tick. He also worked on Mark of the Ninja. We had a lot of great people.
Ouya guy.
Ooh yeah, yes.
The android,
the prongs of
cactus.
Android. Android assault cactus.
Yes,
I hope that's right. I'm never gonna get those 3 words right, but that game is really cool.
Anyway, it's great. It's a great show, and we're gonna have it. Hopefully you kicked in.
Yeah,
that's the only way to get that episode.
Hopefully you gave some kicks to this starter. It's a kicks starter.
Also, Rowan, will put up a chapter from his Mass Effect book.
That's right. Possibility Space.
Called Masses Effect. Oh, what's it called?
Masses Effect. There was an excerpt published on Unwinnable from Rowan's upcoming Mass Effect book.
Garrus chapter.
About how Garrus is the real hero of Mass Effect. And I'm not sure I agree with that,
Rowan is the real hero.
But it's a very cool it's a very cool lens to analyze the series through. So you can check that out. We'll link it. We'll link it in the show notes.
Yes, we will,
as we normally do. Is that what else? What else are you guys playing? Anything? Is that about it? Is that wrapping it up?
I think so.
We're gonna have a little bit of a short show this week,
but a good show.
But a good show.
Quality,
we'll keep it short and sweet.
All killer, no filler.
Math, drugs.
Does anybody want to? Let's give a shout out to Brad Galloway.
Oh God, yeah.
We forgot to mention Brad.
We forgot to mention Brad Galloway. Thanks for I'm gonna say thanks now for all of his future Dark Souls tips, because I know he stays up late.
Dude, I'm gonna bug.
He stays up late.
Bug the shit out of him.
He's up late. He's West Coast time. So I think we're in good hands.
He's already blowing my mind on Twitter.
I know. Rowan, anything else you would like to pimp at this time?
Your mom.
Whoa.
All right, on that note, you can go to joshandjshow.com for show notes, more information. Hopefully there'll be something, some sort of presence on Unwinnable soon as well. We're still sort of hashing that out with the guys, but we want to do everything we can to support them because they're super rad. And
backroom negotiations.
And even if you did not get in on the Kickstarter, you'll still be able to subscribe to their weekly magazine once it's out. I mean, you'll have to pay for it, but I don't think it's going to be much.
Yeah, and
I don't know what the model is going to be exactly.
You guys may come here next week.
Keep an eye on Unwinnable.
Next week, and I have like the long fingernails and the jars of piss and like all that going on because I've just been playing Dark Souls 2 the whole time.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Thank God I have a girlfriend right now. Just to make me
you'd
stop.
Be screwed.
Yeah,
you'd be screwed. That'd be the end of it. On that note, at Joshua Doan, at Jay Pullman, at Rowan Kaiser.
Send us an email.
joshandjshow at gmail.com. Also hit us up on Twitter at joshandjshow. Literally, we'll probably talk about anything you throw on there. If you want to give us some tips or have some questions about anything, it doesn't even really have to be video game related. It could be about 90s music. It could be about flannels.
Anything you want to know about Rowan, no matter how personal.
That's true. Rowan's an open book. He's an open
book.
diary.
Yep, anything.
So yeah. On that note, thanks everyone.
Game over.